What if I told you that you could be making 10 mistakes that make your home look old and dirty, even after cleaning everything? It seems impossible, right? But the truth is, there are silent mistakes that most people make without realizing it, and they make all the difference in the appearance of your home. You may be spending hours cleaning, organizing, and tidying every corner, but if you're making these mistakes, your home will never have that fresh, renewed look you so desire. Today, I'll reveal exactly which mistakes are sabotaging all your efforts. Some of them are so simple, you'll be surprised how you didn't notice them before. Others are tricks that people with always impeccable homes have used for years, but rarely share. If you keep making these mistakes, you can clean as often as you want, and your home will always have that neglected look. But when you discover and correct each one, the transformation will be so impressive that even your guests will notice the difference. Get ready, because what you're about to learn today will completely change the way you view and care for your home. Tip 1. Leave windows foggy and streaky. The first mistake that makes your home look old and dirty is something that's right in front of you, but you probably don't pay enough attention to. It's foggy windows with water stains or those streaks left behind after a poor cleaning. Many people clean their entire house, but they forget that windows are the eyes of the house. When they're dirty or foggy, all natural light is filtered out strangely, creating a dark and lifeless environment. This makes even the most beautiful furniture and the most elaborate decor lose their shine. The problem is that window cleaning isn't just about wiping with a cloth and water. Most people use products that leave residue, or they clean at times when the sun hits the glass directly, creating streaks that are almost impossible to remove later. To fix this once and for all, you need to clean your windows on cloudy days or when the sun isn't shining directly. Use a mixture of warm water and a few drops of mild detergent. First, wipe with a damp cloth to remove the thick dirt. Then use a squeegee or newspaper to dry without leaving streaks. The secret is to always work from top to bottom and never let it dry on its own. When your windows are crystal clear, you'll notice how much better natural light enters, how vibrant your decor colors become, and how the entire home takes on a fresher, more well-maintained feel. It's amazing how this simple detail can completely transform a space. Tip 2. Accumulating unnecessary objects on furniture. The second mistake sabotaging your home's appearance is piling up unnecessary objects on top of furniture. You can clean everything, but if every surface is cluttered with stuff, your home will continue to look messy and disorganized. This is a very common mistake because it happens gradually, almost without you noticing. You put some mail on the table, then leave your car keys, your cell phone, some important papers, that magazine you're still going to read, and before you know it, there's no free space left. The problem is that our brain interprets free surfaces as synonymous with cleanliness and organization. When everything is occupied, even if the objects are clean, it feels messy and neglected. This happens especially on coffee tables, kitchen counters, bedroom dressers, and even on top of the refrigerator. To solve this, you need to get into the habit of putting things away in the right place at the right time. Don't leave it for later because it just becomes clutter. Have specific places for keys, mail, remote controls, and other everyday items. Use drawers, organizing baskets, or wall hooks. The important thing is that everything has its place and that surfaces are free to showcase the beauty of your furniture. When you start keeping your surfaces organized, you'll notice how your home feels new, even though it's the same as always. It's as if your furniture takes on a new life and the entire space becomes more harmonious and welcoming. Tip 3. Neglecting to clean baseboards. The third mistake that's making your home look old and dirty is one that most people overlook: dirty and dusty baseboards. It may seem trivial, but baseboards are like the frame of a picture. When they are dirty, the entire wall looks unkempt, even if you've just painted. The problem is that baseboards are on the floor, so they accumulate dust, pet hair, cleaning spills, and even small debris that escapes from the broom. Because they're placed so high that they don't immediately attract attention, many people simply forget they're there. But when someone enters your home, even unconsciously, their eyes pick up on this dirt and interpret it as general neglect. To clean baseboards properly, you don't need expensive products or complicated techniques. Use a slightly damp cloth with water and mild detergent. Go slowly, paying attention to the corners where dirt tends to accumulate. If the baseboard is white or light-colored, you can use a little baking soda to remove more stubborn stains. Do this at least once a week, along with your regular house cleaning. The results are surprising. Walls that looked yellowed or dingy suddenly take on new life. It's as if you've renovated, but in reality, you've only paid attention to a detail that was being overlooked. Your visitors will notice that your home looks more cared for and professional, even if they can't explain exactly what changed. If you're enjoying these tips that can transform your home, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any updates. And in the comments, tell me where you're watching from. I love knowing my content is reaching people from different places. Now let's move on to the next tip. Tip 4. Use many different cleaning products. The fourth mistake that could be sabotaging your home's appearance is something that seems contradictory, but is very real: using too many cleaning products. Many people think that the more products they use, the cleaner their home will be. But in reality, using too many products can leave residue that makes surfaces appear dull and dull. This happens especially when you use one product to clean, another to shine, another to perfume, and yet another to disinfect, all on the same surface. What happens is that these products mix, creating an invisible layer that leaves everything looking dull and lifeless. Furthermore, some products don't work well together and can even create stains or leave that unpleasant chemical smell that takes a while to disappear. The secret is to use fewer products, but use the right ones. For most surfaces in the home, warm water with a mild detergent solves 90% of problems. For glass and mirrors, a mixture of water and a little white vinegar leaves everything crystal clear and residue-free. For wood, use specific products, but don't overdo it. The important thing is to read the instructions and not mix different products in the same area. When you simplify your cleaning routine, you'll notice better, longer-lasting results. Surfaces will have that natural shine that makes all the difference in the overall appearance of your home. Plus, you'll save money and have fewer chemicals in your home, which is better for the whole family's health. Tip 5. Forgetting to clean switches and sockets. The fifth mistake that makes your home look old and dirty is forgetting to clean the switches and outlets. It may seem like a minor detail, but these small surfaces are touched dozens of times a day and accumulate an impressive amount of dirt, oil, and germs. When they're dirty, they create dark spots on the wall that attract negative attention and give the impression of neglect. The problem is that most people only notice this dirt when it's already visible, and at that point, it's difficult to remove with a simple cleaning. Switches turn yellow, outlets take on a grayish color, and this contrasts with the clean wall, creating an overall unkempt appearance. To solve this, you need to include cleaning these items in your weekly routine. First, turn off the power to that area for safety. Then use a cloth slightly dampened with water and mild detergent to gently clean. For more stubborn dirt, use an old toothbrush with a little baking soda. Never use abrasive products or allow water to get into electrical parts. Dry thoroughly with a clean, dry cloth before turning the power back on. The result is a striking visual difference. Walls that look dingy suddenly look new and well-maintained. It's amazing how these small details make all the difference in the overall perception of a home's cleanliness. When you keep switches and outlets clean, your home conveys a sense of care and attention to detail that impresses any visitor. Tip 6. Leave plants withered or yellowed leaves. The sixth mistake that's making your home look old and dirty is keeping wilted plants with yellowed or dead leaves scattered around the house. Plants are wonderful decorative elements that bring life and freshness to any space, but when poorly cared for, they have exactly the opposite effect. A wilted plant, or one with dry leaves, conveys neglect and neglect, making the surrounding decor look neglected. The problem is that many people bring plants into their homes thinking they'll take good care of them, but then forget to water them, fail to remove dead leaves, and don't give them the attention they deserve. This is especially common with plants that are kept high up or in less visible corners of the house. To solve this, you need to create a simple but consistent care routine. Choose plants that are suited to their environment, considering the amount of light and humidity. Water at the appropriate frequency for each type of plant, but don't overdo it, as overwatering kills more plants than underwatering. Always remove yellowed or dry leaves. Wipe dust off the leaves with a damp cloth and check for pests. If you don't have the time or skill to care for real plants, opt for high-quality artificial plants, but always keep them clean. It's important that any decorative elements in your home are always in good condition. When your plants are beautiful and healthy, they enhance the entire space and create a feeling of well-kept and welcoming home. Tip 7. Not organizing electronic wires and cables. The 7th mistake that's sabotaging the appearance of your home is leaving electronic cords and cables scattered and disorganized. We're surrounded by devices that need to be charged or connected, but when cords are tangled behind furniture, hanging haphazardly or scattered across the floor, they create a feeling of clutter that undermines the overall harmony of the space. It's as if all your organization is being ruined by these visible cords. The problem is that most people only worry about cords when they're physically in the way, but visually, they're already having a negative impact long before that. Scattered cords make any space look improvised and unplanned. To solve this, you don't need to spend a lot or undertake major renovations. Use cord organizers, which can be purchased ready-made or made at home from cardboard tubes. Group cords by function and secure them with Velcro or cable ties. For cords that are behind furniture, use adhesive cable ducts that stick to the wall and keep everything organized. For frequently used chargers, have designated places where they're stored when not in use. The important thing is that each cord has its place and doesn't create that visual spiderweb that makes any room look cluttered. When you organize your cords properly, your entire home looks cleaner and more professional. It's amazing how this simple detail can completely transform the perception of a room's organization. Tip 8. Use dirty or inappropriate rugs for the environment. The 8th mistake that could be making your home look old and dirty is using dirty, worn, or inappropriate rugs. Rugs are decorative elements that can greatly enhance a space, but when poorly maintained, they do exactly the opposite. A dirty, stained, or musty-smelling rug makes the entire room look neglected, even if the rest of the room is spotless. The problem is that rugs accumulate dust, hair, dust mites, and odors, and many people don't have the habit of regularly deep cleaning them. Furthermore, rugs that are too small for the room or placed in inappropriate locations can disrupt the visual harmony of the space. To solve this, you need to establish a specific rug care routine. Vacuum at least twice a week, always on both sides. Once a month, do a deeper clean with specific products or hire a specialized service. If the rug starts to look very worn or has permanent stains, it's better to replace it than to insist on something that's detracting from the overall appearance. When choosing rugs, consider the size of the room and the decor style. A rug should complement the space, not compete with it. If you have pets or small children, choose rugs that are easy to clean and in colors that conceal minor dirt. When your rugs are always clean and well chosen, they enhance the entire space and create a sense of comfort and care that makes all the difference in the overall perception of the home. Before moving on to the next tip, I want to tell you about something special I've prepared for those who want to go beyond this video. It's a complete guide with organization secrets that completely transform my home and can transform yours too. The link is in the pinned comment, and for a limited time, I'm offering a special discount for channel subscribers. Now let's move on to the next tips, which are some of my favorites. Tip 9. Leaving mirrors foggy or stained. The ninth mistake that's making your home look old and dirty is keeping mirrors foggy, stained, or with those dark spots that appear over time. Mirrors are elements that enlarge spaces and reflect light, but when they're dirty or stained, they do exactly the opposite of what they should. Instead of creating a sense of spaciousness and brightness, they create dark spots that draw negative attention and make the entire space look unkempt. The problem is that cleaning mirrors isn't just about wiping them with a cloth and water. Most people use products that leave residue or clean them incorrectly, creating streaks and stains that are difficult to remove later. Furthermore, bathroom mirrors suffer from constant humidity and develop those black spots around the edges that are signs of deterioration. To clean mirrors properly, use a mixture of warm water and white vinegar, which leaves no residue. First, wipe with a damp cloth to remove thick dirt, then use newspaper or a lint-free cloth to dry without leaving streaks. For very dirty mirrors, use a little isopropyl alcohol. If the mirror already has those dark spots around the edges, unfortunately, there's no way to repair them, and it's best to replace them. To prevent this, keep bathrooms well ventilated and dry mirrors after showering. When your mirrors are crystal clear, they fulfill their function of enlarging and illuminating rooms, making your home appear larger, brighter, and much more well-maintained. Tip 10. Not paying attention to finishing details. The 10th and final mistake that makes your home look old and dirty is not paying attention to finishing details. I'm talking about those small touch-ups that make all the difference. Peeling paint on the baseboard, an unpatched nail hole in the wall, darkened grout in the bathroom, a loose doorknob, or a visible screw that should be hidden. These details may seem trivial, but our brains register them all and interpret them as general neglect. It's as if all the cleaning and organizing you've done loses its value because of these small imperfections. The problem is that most people only notice these details when they're already clearly visible, and by that point, they've already created a negative impression on many people. To solve this, you need to regularly inspect your home, paying specific attention to these small details. Always keep a basic repair kit at home. Touch-up paint, spackle, grout, screws, and basic tools. When you notice any small problem, fix it right away. Don't put it off. It's much easier to make a small touch-up than to let the problem fester and require a major repair. Also, always keep a can of paint the same color as your walls for small touch-ups. When you take care of these details, your home conveys a sense of perfection and care that impresses any visitor. It's the difference between a home that looks well-maintained and one that looks professionally maintained. Now you know the 10 mistakes that could be making your home look old and dirty, even after all the cleaning and organizing. The amazing thing is that all of these mistakes have simple and inexpensive solutions that anyone can apply without needing professional help. The secret is realizing that a beautiful, well-maintained home isn't just about cleanliness, but also about attention to the details that make all the difference. When you correct these mistakes, the transformation is impressive. Your home not only looks more beautiful, but also conveys a sense of care and affection that makes all the difference in your well-being and the impression it makes on those who visit you. Remember, you don't have to do everything at once. Choose 1 or 2 mistakes to correct each week and gradually implement the changes. The important thing is to start and maintain consistency. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and turn on notifications so you don't miss any tips that can transform your home. And tell me in the comments, which of these mistakes did you discover you were making? Which tip will you apply first? I love hearing how this information is helping you transform your homes.